Tragic story, tragic case, but it's going to be a trial. They're going to fight it. They want these charges dismissed. Motion to dismiss October 26th, which is next Thursday. In the case of the Idaho students who were murdered, we'll see what happens there. But there's more things to talk about. First, let's take a look at the accused killer back inside the courtroom. Here he is. Once again, walking in, you know, you look at him, we all know what he's accused of, so you kind of look at him a little differently. But I think everything we learned about him is that there was always something wrong with him, always something a little odd. You know, not just like a regular guy. There was something a little different. We heard statements from students who had him.
Yes, Benny. Somebody that's either guilty and is now in cuffs, or somebody that's being accused of a crime they didn't do, like maybe Mark Carver. Yeah, they're probably acting a little odd, Benny. Just saying.
You know, not just like a regular guy. There was something a little different. We heard statements from students who had him in school out west in Washington State, and
like a quote from Harsh. I'm spitballing. You know, I'm spitballing.
It's
shout out Harsh.
It's bizarre. So how about his family? Where's his family in all of this? Well, we really haven't heard from his immediate family, but the U.S. Sun spoke to the accused killer's alleged aunt, because, you know, she was anonymous. She didn't give a name or anything. And this is what the alleged aunt told the U.S. Sun. She said her heart goes out to the victims' families, but she also feels the accused killer was not well and had battled for years with mental health problems. To me, he was humble and quiet. I didn't see any violence in him. But if you're not on the right medication, you can be triggered. I think he may have snapped. I don't have an answer for why he was depressed. I guarantee he had a wonderful childhood. Michael, his dad, is a wonderful man. He was a janitor, and his wife is a beautiful woman. She's a teacher, and they worked at the same school. She questioned on how she feels he will cope if he gets life behind bars. His aunt shook her head and replied, I think he may try to kill himself. So definitely there's something.
All right. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when all of these, like, there's like a couple, Tinder dates? People saying he was getting kicked out of bars left and right, but, you know, like, remember that time period, everybody? Remember? And you had them Tinder dates where, oh my gosh, he was so rude. Right? That's what this shit reminds me of. Kind of crazy how all of a sudden it's a topic a week before the court date. And who does it come from? Doesn't come from the sister. Doesn't come from the cousin. Doesn't come from any of the family, other than somebody that was married to his uncle that got divorced. So how in the fuck? This is just like picking the fucking white car out of the fucking surveillance cameras that went the route. Let's take the one article that says some shit like this and drop it in the Dropbox, and we'll have all of these other articles that could be saying something completely else. And we're just gonna push those off to the side. We're gonna take this one right here. We're just gonna drop it in the Dropbox and say, oh, guess what? BK's aunt speaks out. This shit reminds me of the creepy freaking Tinder date. Oh my gosh, he was so rude. Give me a fucking break. Vinny. Thank you, Senny. I appreciate that so much. Let me see what it is. Hold on. It's the prickly pear. Yeah, with the fist bump. Vinny. I've already reached out to you once on the show, Vinny. I'm reaching out to you like I did Nancy Grace, Vinny. I'm reaching out to you, buddy. Please don't. Please don't. I love wondering what pastel tie you're gonna wear for the evening. I love the anticipation of the pastel tie color. I love it. Please, Vinny. Stay true, man. Stay true.
Something off about him, but that's not going to be the defense. There's no defense like that. It's an alibi defense that he wasn't there. He was out for a drive by himself all night.
Pastel Peak,
Straight back in
baby.
our think tank, Bernardo Villona, Sue Ann Robinson, Ben Chu. Ben,
I'm telling you, pastel. I ain't lying. Pastel. I love Vinny. Vinny. You the man. Come on, Vinny.
and I just,
Come on, Vinny.
they've got the motion to dismiss.
I
don't
can't wear
expect it to
pastel
be
like
successful,
Vinny.
but it might give us
do it.
a sneak preview of what some of the arguments will be at the trial. But from what we've heard, it seems like the basis of this defense case is that he has an alibi. And his alibi is something like he was out all night driving.
Right? The whole that's what I'm saying. The whole Tinder date, like, oh my gosh, he's so rude. Like, for real? I'm not gonna repeat those comments. I'm not gonna repeat those comments, but oh, of course, his ties are on point. I mean, seriously, pastel. I love pastel. It makes me think of like 80s, Miami Vice, the music, the cars, all that shit. Damn straight, Tiffany. You know what comes along with those colors, like refresh, like that's what comes along with them colors. Right? Right? Oh no, I'm saying it could be, but what I'm saying is Vinny always has the pastel. Always has the pastel. Always. Always.
Driving around by himself.
Vinny's the man.
That kind of sounds like what the killer did.
Those colors bring me back.
Yeah, it's not the strongest alibi we've ever heard, is it?
Oh, you guys are
No,
great.
not even close. Bernard, the alibi sounds like it's a piece of evidence for the prosecution.
Exactly. So, Vinny, I don't think that that's the defense that they're going to put forward, an alibi. I think what they're going to put forward is to say that the prosecution hasn't proven their case beyond
I wonder if it has to do with Exhibit G and H. I don't know, just maybe.
a reasonable doubt. Because think about it, Vinny, if they're going to put a defense of an alibi that he was somewhere else, who are they going to put on the stand to testify about that? Is Brian Kohberger the only person in a position to say that he was out driving all night? And does that make him and put him in a positive light? It doesn't. So I think they're just going to keep it to that the prosecution hasn't proven their case.
What if he was door dashing? Oh, well then that alibi completely makes fucking sense, don't it? You know what I mean? Right? What if he was door dashing? Oh, well then that's why he would be driving around all fucking night, no? I don't know. Just maybe. Just maybe.
It's beyond a
Maybe.
reasonable doubt.
Maybe.
I know that's the standard and all, Sue Ann, but that's,
Right.
I mean,
Phil?
if I'm accused of being a mass murderer in the middle of the night, I would think I'd have a better story if I was factually innocent.
Why would you have a different story? Look at his face. Like he's got that explosive diarrhea. Bro. Why would he have a different story? He has a story he has because that's what he was doing. What if it was I was sleeping? Oh, well, you think if he was factually innocent, he would have a different alibi. What the fuck? What if I'm sleeping? Well, if he was innocent, then you think he would have a different alibi. What? Vinny, no. Come on, Vinny. Vinny. I'm reaching out to you like I did Nancy. I'm sorry. I had to cut ties with Nancy. I had to do it, Vinny. Please. Please, Vinny. Please, Vinny. Don't make me do it, Vinny. I don't want to. I don't want to. I didn't want to with Nancy either. I
agree with you, but I'm still stuck on the anonymous aunt that wants to be distant but has so much to say. It's like, pick a lane.
Exactly. Thank you, lady. Pick a fucking lane. You know what? Thank you. Pick a fucking lane.
Do you agree or disagree with me?
I agree with you, but I'm still stuck on the anonymous aunt that wants to be distant but has so much to say. It's like, pick a lane. Either you want to distance yourself from the case, you don't have anything to offer, or you have all of this stuff to say about his childhood, him being depressed. You don't know why he's depressed, but his childhood was great. Like, are you distancing yourself, or do you have something to say? I feel like you need.
Right. That's what I'm saying, everybody. I apologize. I've been so sick and I haven't been able to get to my shows as much as I want to. This is shit that, like, it's like all of this stuff, this Mark Carver stuff, the unconscious person stuff, this ant stuff, all of this stuff needs to just be like, yo, like, let's get through the clouds. Let's get through the fog. Let's get through the confetti. And there's more that I got for you. I got another read through of an article for you guys today, too. But seriously, this is why I'm saying this is just like Tinder date. Oh my gosh, he's so rude. Oh my gosh, he's so rude. Thank you, Chris Cooper, for the sub. Appreciate you. Vinny, call me, bro. Shit. Oh, damn, Brandywine. Speaking of dumpster fire, what about the dumpster that never was checked, right? The dumpster that was allowed to get the neighbor's trash to mix all up in with it because, you know, nobody could be called, or, you know, 911 couldn't be called until damn near noon and nobody could show up. Speaking of dumpster, that doesn't really get talked about too much either. There's so many things, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things that are just like, we're just gonna drop that in here. Ooh, this sounds good. We're just gonna drop that in here. Thank you for having some freaking truth on here, lady. Because it's the damn truth. That's why I'm saying it's like this Tinder stuff. Don't listen, when it comes to what this aunt's saying, okay. Okay. But you know what? Consider the source. Just like anything else that you hear, you know, all of this other crazy, you know, stuff like a year ago, you know what I'm saying? Where, or 8, 9 months ago, certain people coming out talking about knowing all the details and stuff. That's cool. We don't know because we're not at the water cooler either. We're not. And when you explore all thoughts, theories, and opinions like we do here, because that's how you get to the truth, then you entertain different things. But then when something doesn't make sense, okay, it doesn't make sense. It may make sense for you, may not make sense for us. But that's because we all got different puzzle pieces. But it's, you know, when a lot of stuff sounds believable, you have to understand. Hell, we had you know who 3-letter word come in a few months ago and speaking a lot of crazy shit too, right? I get it. People want to believe it. People just want the truth. They want the truth so hard. They want justice so bad, and I get you. I do. That you want to believe, you want to know this is the reason why, because you've been looking for an answer this whole time. But you also have to consider the source. And the source is an aunt that was recently married to an uncle that is no longer married to the uncle, wants to remain anonymous, but yet has a lot of stuff to say, like she's saying. And she said it perfectly, stay in your fucking lane. Like I said in the beginning of this show, and I've been saying for so long, and this is why we get fucking attacked over here, is because it's about the innocent until proven guilty. Period. All this shit's important. The stuff, especially the last week, that highlight video that I keep talking about this article of Mark Carver read through that's 45 minutes. The stuff needs to be put out there because it's so important. We all know, as far as we know, it could be different in a couple days, but as far as we know, this trial ain't happening for a while. So that's even longer that people are going to be hearing about this. People are going to be believing stuff. People, like I said, people want truth. People want justice. They're going to believe stuff that it's the shock and odds. What the 3-letter word did a few months ago when they came on the show, and I wasn't having it either. And you guys were getting mad at me because I wasn't having it. And then the truth came out and it was like, damn, CJ. Yeah. Consider the source. Go after what makes sense. Don't chase what don't make sense. Because the don't make sense is the confetti. The don't make sense is the cloud that's trying to get that in between you and the truth. And you don't need that. And the potential juror members don't need that either. And that's why it's so important. That's why it's so important to being about actions over words. Because I could easily be like, you know what, you wouldn't believe the amount of BS and the hate just because of innocent until proven guilty. Blinders off, right? Not driving a vehicle with the front windshield only. It's dangerous as fuck. Especially when you're trying to find truth and justice. It's a dangerous path when you only have the windshield. But this is why I'm stressing this so much, especially right now, because one more day is another day that potential juror members are going to believe what this aunt's fucking saying. They're not going to have all of this time like we have had. They're not going to have all of this time to go into this stuff. The time that we've put in and the time that we're going to put in, they're not going to have the time in trial. They're not going to be able to know all the information beyond what is presented like we do. So when it comes to this trial, what potential juror members already have in the back of their head is so important, because they might not have all of the information. And when you base a decision like this, when you don't have all of the information, is very dangerous. And so when you give any bits of information out there to a community that maybe they do watch some of these shows and they will be a potential juror member, at least you're speaking truth and justice. Let that be in the back of their head, not something that an aunt that might have some agenda, wants to be anonymous but wants to say a lot, has to say. Don't let that cloud your freaking vision. This is why I'm pushing this stuff so much recently. Shit, for months, but especially recently with this Mark Carver, this touch DNA stuff. This shit ain't no joke. This shit can happen to you. This shit can happen to your family member. This shit can happen to your friend, your coworker, your neighbor. Mark Carver is a perfect example of how something like this is so dangerous. You were talking about other people's lives. The other guy that was supposed to get convicted with Mark Carver, Neil Cassida, passed away the day before the trial. You're messing with people's lives. So what? At the end of the day, all you have to say is, we tried. Or you could be like in Ann Taylor's 2017 acquittal that she represented, where the prosecution team basically said, well, we're sorry to hear that the jury didn't find the person guilty like we do, but because we feel so strongly that the person that we charged is guilty of the crime, we don't find it necessary to go find any other suspects. Putney counting. Ann Taylor 2017. Go to my video section, you can see that one too. The shit takes place. It's so dangerous. That's why I don't care. I'm going to stand up for who the hell I am. I'm going to stand up for what I feel's right. I'm not going to entertain stuff that I'm sorry, that I feel is a distraction, confetti, cloud, smoke, whatever. Don't need to. It's about the truth. It's about justice. Respectfully as well. Respectfully as well. I know other things could take place. We're talking about an OD call a little bit ago. I know other stuff can take place. But respectfully, before I can even go into it more, because I went into it a long ass time ago, respectfully to the families and the victims, I need more. I just need more. Talking about it, discussing it, having screenshots of shit that can be doctored, that's not good enough. Because you're talking about the respect of these victims and their families. That's what's more important. Thank you, Senny. I appreciate it. I'm sorry for that rant, guys. I get onto it from time to time. But this lady is so damn true. And this whole ant talk, I hope nobody's even been sent a letter to show up to maybe be selected for jury duty, you know? And to say that nobody's heard about this case when we have people from the UK, Australia, Britain, freaking Greenland coming into the show, being tuned into the topic, you're going to tell me that people all around the United States ain't following this? It's so important. Please share this. I know it's 45 minutes. Please. It's a long article from the Exoneration Project, and it talks about the Mark Carver case, Iri Yarmolenko. It goes through everything. There's a reason it's a long article, because it has a lot of stuff in it, and it's so important. People need to talk about it. People need to hear about it, especially with this case, especially with potential juror members. Because when you're sitting on there, you already have pressure. In that box, you already have pressure. You're going to be having a whole bunch of experts coming at you, saying a whole bunch of stuff. It took us 3 videos to go into our DNA riddle deep dive, and we still didn't come out understanding a third of it. You think that this jury's going to understand all this stuff? No. That's why it's so important. Everybody, even Vinny, I know. That's why I'm so happy that I don't have to answer to people upstairs that are a board of directors that are telling me what I can and can't and what I have to and what I need to show. That's the beautiful thing about this free journalism that we do here on this platform. But the free journalism also comes along. Well, it's not always free, let's be honest. We do pay for a lot. But you know what I mean, free speech. But it also comes with ethics and responsibilities. Just because we don't have a manager above us doesn't mean we can run amok. Doesn't mean that we can just throw a bunch of shit out there because we could literally just delete the video the next day. You know what I'm saying? No. You can't just be throwing shit out there like crazy. There's a responsibility with this platform. This is so important right now. This date coming in 2 days, now, even though it may be a couple years away, now it's let's get the car with all the windows available back on the road, and let's continue down this path of truth and justice for these victims. I'm going to play what this lady said one more time because it's perfect.
Story if I was factually innocent.
What's up, Aurora?
Do you
Thanks for
agree
hopping in.
or disagree with me?
I agree with you, but I'm still stuck on the anonymous aunt that wants to be distant but has so much to say. It's like, pick a lane. Either you want to distance yourself from the case, you don't have anything to offer, or you have all of this stuff to say about his childhood, him being depressed. You don't know why he's depressed, but his childhood was great. Like, are you distancing yourself, or do you have something to say? I feel like you need to pick a lane. If you're going to be a family member, either you're going to offer something or you're going to distance yourself. You can't do both. In terms of them offering an alibi that only he can attest to, that would be a tragic.
And that should show you all you need to know right there. That should show you all you need to know. I'm gonna come out and say a bunch of crazy shit, but own up to it. And you know what? That's what I'm saying, man. Because if you're responsible and you're not about the views and the clicks, you don't even entertain this shit as much as you do. You know what I mean? You don't even entertain it. You get it in the email inbox, okay, cool. Hey, guess what? 10-minute section. This is what an aunt said. Okay. The PR, man, the spin is just the venom. The venom.